What is up, Earthsphere citizens and rebel colonists? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to After Colony 195 as we return to the world of Gundam Wing. Last time, Catra and Heero made it to the Sint Kingdom. Dorothy tests Relina's patience, and Duo attacks a pilot in Wing Zero. This time, the Rockefeller Foundation attacks Luxembourg and pushes their way towards the Sint Kingdom. Troa will get amnesia, and Catra wanders the desert. So let's get into this. Not only can Catra fondle a violin, but he could also finger himself some ivory. He believes that the Gundams are the only thing that can take on the powers that be currently, and feels bad with what happened with Troa. All of this is starting to make Catra realize that people tainted by war should not be in the Sint Kingdom, and that Heero probably felt this way as well. They wonder where the Trace faction is. Catra thinks that they have a decent chance to stand against the mobile dolls. Operation Nova is in full effect. Oz sent out Virgo mobile dolls to nations with dissenting governments. It is going as planned, and they are increasing production of mobile dolls as a result. More Virgo mobile dolls are being transported when suddenly the tall geese comes in attacking. It takes out all but one transport. They send out mobile dolls to retaliate, but he takes out the mobile dolls no problem, followed by the remaining transport vessel. Out of the shadows comes the Peacemillion. The Peacemillion is a battleship that was created by Professor G and Mike Howard, who also created the tall geese. We will learn that it was developed in AC-192 and had been in hiding until Operation Meteor was in full effect. In order to avoid detection, Professor G installed a stealth mechanism on this ship. It also has a bunch of beam cannons on the bow of the ship. There isn't too much information about this ship, but I just love a weapon of war named something with peace in the name. It would be like the US calling a nuke the Freedom Maker. This ship will take on many roles, but for now it is Zek's base of operation. Mike Howard tells Zex to head back on board the ship so he could tune up the tall geese. His reaction time is too quick for the mobile suit. His skills have surpassed the tall geese. He cries over it, go figure. Meanwhile, Tuberov thinks that it may be time to destroy the Sint Kingdom after hearing about Zek's interference. Relina wonders why Heero is still in the Sint Kingdom even though he said he would leave. I love you, but why don't you leave? This bitch is crazy. Dorothy comes over and gives Relina an invitation from the Rockefeller Foundation to meet. She heads out with Dorothy, escorting her. Noin is a little concerned. She makes Heero promise that he won't leave without telling her first. That's the most reaction I think I've seen out of Heero. Catra thinks he should go with her. They head underground to find out that there are mobile dolls being dispersed at Luxembourg. He decides to head out. Catra wants to join him, but Heero says that he can't die just yet. Catra still has a mission to find Troa. Heero heads out. Zex once fought at Luxembourg to take over the base. Now he heads there to help defend the base against Tuberov. Relina meets with Duke Dermel and the leaders of the Rockefeller Foundation. She believes that the Sint Kingdom can be used as a role model for other nations to follow in peace. But the Duke says that he can't help but notice the hypocrisies. They tell Relina about the actions of Miliardo Peacecraft, who is fighting against Oz, which is a direct attack against Rockefeller. Relina wonders what name the soldier goes by. They say that he goes by Zex. She says to the Duke if that is the case, that isn't her brother. Her brother wouldn't do this to the Sint Kingdom, so they could do whatever they want to the traitor. The Duke wasn't ready for this response and apologizes to Relina. Relina is starting to understand what Zex is trying to accomplish. Dorothy was secretly watching the meeting. Zex is at his limit. He did all he could from space. It is up to Luxembourg to handle the rest. Meanwhile, Unit 1 makes it to Luxembourg. As Relina makes her leave, she is attacked by mobile dolls. Her car crashes and badly injures her butler Pagan. No, Pagan! That is when Noin and Catra come in to save Relina and White Tauruses. What happened to Heero? Well, he was surrounded by Virgo mobile dolls as he begins fighting. He is struggling when he gets a message from Trace Kujanada telling him not to give up. Wing falls down again. Get up, Heero! You don't want to die wearing an ascot! Virgos surround him, but some Trace faction pilots and Leos come in and kamikaze, destroying themselves and the Virgos. Heero gets out and finds one Trace soldier still alive. He tells Heero to protect Trace. Duke Dermel is informed that they are losing mobile dolls quickly. He tells the soldiers to go all out on Luxembourg. He wants to make sure Trace and the Gundam pilots don't join up. Heero's biosignatures are saved as he was granted access to the elevator. He goes down to find Trace waiting for him. He urges Heero to shoot him. He says it with a smirk on his face. Heero wants to know why he allowed him in.
I programmed the computer to accept you a few months ago. I thought that one of these...
Man, he is really going off on something about destiny right now. Everyone is all about empty platitudes in this universe. Hey, remember when Captain America told those senators to do better, but he really didn't have anything to say at all? That's like this entire show. Oh, I should probably be paying attention to what they're saying right now.
My greatest happiness in life was being able to talk with you.
Wait, what did I just miss? They point a gun at one another. While Trace is being dramatic, he opens a secret door to reveal Epyon. Out in space, Romefeller is trying to destroy Wing Zero. They set bombs on the mobile suit. Suddenly, Tallgeese comes in and stops them. He takes out the Leos. He monologues for a second before another ship of mobile dolls come in. He begins attacking the Taurus mobile dolls. As Zex says goodbye to the Tallgeese, he cuts through many mobile dolls. He says his farewell and bails out of the mobile suit before self-destructing, taking out the mobile dolls. Zex drifts over to Wing Zero. After getting in the Gundam, Romefeller detonates the bombs on Wing Zero, but they weren't strong enough to destroy it. Zex starts doing damage with the Gundam. This suit is more responsive than the Tallgeese. Trace tells Heero to show him his strengths. They both want each other to lose, so they can both die. Ugh, it's exhausting. He gets in the Epyon. The OZ-13MS Gundam Epyon is a product of Trace while he was confined. This unit uses a modified version of the Zero system similar to Wing Zero, known as the Epyon system. It resembles a dragon when in mobile armor mode. Trace believes that long-range weapons is one of cowards, so most of the weapons are short-ranged, with the exception of Vulcans, which are added later. Weapons include a beam sword, the Epyon claws, which double as landing gear in mobile armor mode, and the Epyon shield, which also equips a heat rod. Chaos ensues at Luxembourg. Trace's troops can't hold off Dermail's men for too much longer. That is when Epyon makes its appearance on the battlefield. It moves at great speeds and uses its heat rod to destroy many mobile dolls. Heero is confused if the Trace faction is friendlies. He realizes this mobile suit is like the Zero system as it begins consuming him. He now sees everyone on the battlefield as his enemy. He begins taking out both the Leos and the mobile dolls. He remembers the promise he made with Relina and returns to Trace. Trace wonders if he saw his future, but Heero only saw his past. He says he doesn't have the right and passes out. While walking down a road, Troa happens to run into Catherine from the circus. She notices that he is very haggard and helps him out. He has no memory of her. Mobile dolls enter the colony where Wu Fei is located. He is back with his old master, Long. After he spars, he thanks his old master. Now here is something interesting. In the English dub, Master Long emphasizes the importance of integrity.
Even still, we will follow our destiny and see that we live with integrity.
Integrity?
But the Japanese subs translate this to justice. However, listening with my own earballs, he says the word seki.
されど我らは最後まで天命に従い正義を貫くつもりじゃ。
正義.
Seki is one's spirit or vitality. One's ki in shonen anime can also be interpreted as seki. Suddenly, an explosion happens with the colony. The mobile dolls begin their attack. Wu Fei gets an Altron. He prays to Nakata and takes out the mobile dolls. Man Tauruses make their way towards the colony. Wu Fei heads out into space. They threaten the destruction of the colony if he fights. Back inside the colony, Master Long and his disciples sacrifice themselves and self-destruct the colony. Turns out Wu Fei was a part of a cult. He calls Wu Fei one last time and tells him not to waver. The colony goes up in flames. How many innocent people just died? A lot! Wu Fei is enraged and begins tearing through the mobile suits. On the Peace Million, Sex thinks that it is time to enlist the help of the Gundam pilots. He heads in the direction of Wu Fei. Duke Dermail contacts Tuberov. He informs him that they have completed Operation Nova and to halt production on mobile dolls and begin building a battleship. This will come into play soon. Noin gives Catra a fighter jet that looks like an F-15 with extra delta fins and takes off. He runs into two Ares mobile suits which shoot him down in the desert. He has to find Sandrock on foot now. Romefeller's forceful actions are starting to make the people of the Sint Kingdom waver on peace. Relina is going to take action to stop disarmament of the Romefeller Foundation. But how? Do you draft bills? What is your form of government? I'm asking too many questions. Broad strokes, remember. Broad strokes. Oh hey, Pagan is here. Underground, Noin is building a small military presence behind Relina's back, and Heero wants to know why. She shows him Romefeller's next moves. Since the attack on Luxembourg, Romefeller has been making their way towards the edges of the Sint Kingdom. Noin says that they need more people. She intends to take in former members of the Trace faction and the Romefeller Foundation. She says that they can really make a difference with a Gundam on their side, but Heero isn't really into protecting this nation like Catra is. Wu Fei is still rampaging out in space and takes out all his anger on the mobile dolls. He finds the dolls cowardly. That is when Zex and Wing Zero contacts him. Wu Fei begins attacking Zex. He doesn't want to help Zex unless he is able to defeat him. They begin fighting. Zex loses control and fires near the Peace Million, destroying it, but it isn't destroyed. Zex is hallucinating. The Zero system is taking over. Zex Zex fires again, and this time actually hits the Peace Million. He calms down as Wu Fei makes his leave with Ultron Gundam. Troa is back with the circus. He still has amnesia. Catherine thinks that perhaps this is the best way. And that will do it for this episode. The geopolitics in this show are so broad and vague, which is why I prefer the dub, because it makes it broad, vague, and silly. Though, we also learn the dub makes some different interpretations as well. Next time, Ketra will find Sandrock. Heero and Epyon will go against Zex in Wing Zero. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to pay attention or you might miss something. Peace.